I have never seen a thin person drinking Diet Coke. This is just one of many bangers to leave the fingertips of one Donald J. Trump. He even mastered the art of the reply thread, building off something he said earlier to bring it full circle. The Coca-Cola company is not happy with me. That's okay. I'll still keep drinking that garbage. You know what isn't garbage? G-Sups. Use code Kwite for 10% off. This thing keeps me wired to the gills and still breathing most days of the week. Hi again, guys, and welcome back to the most qualified political commentator born this century. Me! If you don't know, for the longest time, Trump was at one point the most influential terminally online person to ever exist. He was on Twitter rapid-fire tweeting for basically the entirety of the 2010s. And whatever your feelings are on the guy, I imagine they aren't positive, he had some bangers. A truly generational run with some of the most out-of-pocket stuff he would say. Sharks are last on my list, other than perhaps the losers and haters of the world. Sorry folks, I'm just not a fan of sharks, and don't worry, they will be around long after we are gone. This might be one of few things he's ever said that I can wholeheartedly say he's right about. At least that last bit. Sharks have been around longer than trees. They will likely outlast the fall of any civilization we manage to scrounge together with our time on this earth. And I promise I will try to keep the cringe liberal in me at bay for the rest of this video and not do another god-awful Trump impression unless the funny truly warrants it to be included. Sadly, or for the best, depending on your priorities in life, that being shitposting versus public safety, Trump's Twitter account was banned after he and some of his supporters got a little wacky on Capitol Hill a few years back, and he has remained banned from the platform for a few years. The thing is that guys get a Twitter reduction worse than your favorite YouTuber, including me, so he literally started a new social media platform called Truth Social to continue screaming into the void. However, his Twitter account was reinstated in 2022 when Elon Musk made the worst financial decision of his life and chose to buy Twitter, just pulling up some necromancy and bringing Trump's account back from the dead. And you see, Elon really wanted Trump to start posting on Twitter again because that man's antics were a major draw to the site when he was originally still active there. The thing is, we all know Donald Trump is a petty motherfucker. A catty bitch, you might say. And he specifically chose not to go back to Twitter because he thought of Elon as a spineless, limp-dicked idiot. I'm paraphrasing here. Now Elon should focus on getting himself out of the Twitter mess because he could owe $44 billion for something that's perhaps worthless. Also, lots of competition for electric cars. Like, he was done with Twitter for the time being, specifically because he did not want to be around Elon. However, it seemed that Donald Trump's opinion on this matter had changed a little bit when his mugshot first got released. Trump posted to Twitter for the first time in years, "Mugshot, August 24th, 2023. Election interference, never surrender!" Coincidentally, I think today might be the year anniversary of that tweet. Number one Trump supporter, Hassan Piker, welcomed him back with joy and open arms. So Trump quite literally decided to show his face on Twitter again for the first time in ages, and especially in recent weeks, it seems that Trump and Elon have patched things up, where Trump did an interview with Elon on Twitter live, and it seems that he is now in full force posting to the site again. In that process, Trump has basically left that Truth Social platform in the dust to rot, since people were really only using it to get that rush of adrenaline from seeing what deranged shit Trump would say about whatever the hell he wanted to. And for a lot of people, despite the metric shit ton of things to dislike Trump for, the entertainment factor was always there with him, and the tweets we get to laugh at were the silver lining that we got out of this predicament. The thing is, though, even if he's back, it has become clear that my goat is washed. Ever since Trump came back on Twitter, things have not been the same. It's like hanging out with Elon, let the stench of Musk's mediocrity rub off on him. Trump just posts AI slop now, man. What happened to the love of the game? A shitty image of Kamala Harris leading a meeting of the Chinese Communist Party? A god-awful AI video boomer post of him dancing with Elon after that interview they did? What happened, man? It's like they took away the controls to his Twitter account from him, and then they went and gave it to an intern. Where did all the sauce go? You have no idea how good Prime Trump was! So much of our modern dialect comes from the shit he said off the cuff on Twitter. Sad. Many such cases, many people are saying, all coined or popularized by the bad orange man himself. It's truly a shame that even this silver lining of entertainment was taken from us. So to mourn what we lost, I thought this would be the perfect time to go back and look at some of the many out-of-pocket things that were funny for both the intended and unintended reasons that Trump has said over the years. Some of it's a little mean, if you guys didn't know. Not that I'd expect any less from the guy, but just a warning on that if your baby liberal ears with your silky smooth skin that's soft to the touch and glows radiantly in the sunlight can't handle it. If you enjoy this video, this card at the end will take you to another one like it. Also, less than 20% of y'all are subscribed with notifications on. If you subscribe and hit the bell icon, you'll never miss an upload, and you can always undo it later. I promise not to do this to Greenland, with a picture attached of a hypothetical Trump Tower in the otherwise rural landscape of Greenland. You know, that place was really nice when I went there for the iceberg video, and I gotta say, I wonder how different my experience there would have been if Trump had successfully bought the place. That probably sounds batshit insane because Greenland is the 12th biggest country on Earth by land area, but you'd be surprised how many times America has tried to get a good price on it. What's the cost per acre look like on a purchase like that? Now, some of the most insane Trump tweets come from when he was just shit-talking other people, both in his time in the presidency and his time outside of it. So before we get to that type of thing, let me open with like the only tweet I can think of him outwardly praising someone. They are very rare. Thank you, Kanye. Very cool. Yep, that one still gets used by people all over the place. Kanye is also one of few other people I could think of making a dedicated video like this one on, just going over his tweets over the years. Fun fact, the person editing this video, Nina, hi Nina, was one of less than 100 people Kanye followed before he unfollowed everybody a few years back. This is not a joke. There's lore here, so if you want that in-depth coverage of Kanye's Twitter antics, let me know in the comments. Alright, let's get to the shit slinging. Barney Frank looked disgusting. Nipples protruding in his blue shirt before Congress. Very, very disrespectful. There's this long-running idea that things Trump has said in tweets could easily be used to describe Trump himself. And yeah, I think that works here. Disrespectful is one way of describing like half the shit that Trump ever says. There is just scholarship level hating on display when Trump has some shit to say about pretty much anyone. Twink gets railed by his trans goth girlfriend. Gets himself boy preggers. Yep, PragerU is gonna love that. Has to go to the boynecologist and get a boy abortion. Many such cases. Donnie's so right on this one. A tale as old as time. There really are a lot of these. I gotta say, it was really nice to see boy pregger representation from a president even before he ever sat his ass in the Oval Office. Though I will say, this tweet always felt a little out of the norm for Trump. It's definitely real, you can tell because of how much the screenshot has deteriorated from being shared so much over the years. We just never really heard him say anything like this ever again. He was spitting too many facts that they would have silenced him sooner if he kept talking like that. Oh, actually, there is one more tweet that kinda reads like this. Healthy young child goes to doctor, gets pumped with massive shot of many vaccines, doesn't feel good, and changes. Autism! Many such cases. No, I don't think there are any cases of that, actually. I can say for me personally, the autism was there well before any of the vaccines. When I said that Hillary Clinton got schlonged by Obama, it meant got beaten badly. The media knows this, often used word in politics. I don't know that it is. Can't say I've heard it in that context before. Don't get me wrong, getting schlonged can absolutely mean getting beaten badly, but that's usually in the context of the backshots being really good. And I'm still waiting to experience that particular context myself. The thing is, I just don't think Obama ever really did that with Hillary. Bill was the Clinton that was always the one doing shit out of wedlock, if memory serves. Which it doesn't, because I wasn't even a sperm cell when all that happened. But if I take Trump's word for it, though, that seems about right. If Hillary Clinton can't satisfy her husband, what makes her think she can satisfy America? At real Donald Trump, hashtag 2016 president. Christ. I think one of the things that make Trump tweets so funny is that he has always used that same profile picture when tweeting. It has been the same for over 10 years. I don't even think he knows you can change it. It's like how Richard Nixon has been my profile picture on Discord for half a decade at this point, and now I feel entrapped by the bit, so it's too late to change it. And seriously, Trump's profile picture isn't particularly flattering. It's way too zoomed in on his face. He's squinting really hard like he's trying to see something in the distance. And it just makes everything he types feel a little more intense, because why the fuck is he looking at me like that? It's an essential part of that aura he exudes, at least through text. Like, could you really imagine him saying this next shit without this picture of his face attached? It's basically essential branding at this point. Why would Kim Jong-un insult me by calling me old, when I would never call him short and fat? Oh well, I try so hard to be his friend, and maybe someday that will happen. To be fair, I think I have been called short and fat or other such hurtful things by many people I would consider my close friends over the years, and this was far from the last thing Trump had for Kim Jong-un to hear. I don't know if he uses Twitter like I or Trump do, but he's probably the only person on North Korea who uses Steam, so the likelihood of Kim Jong-un seeing a drill tweet goes up by 30% just from that. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un stated that the nuclear button is on his desk at all times. Will someone from his depleted and foo-starved regime please inform him that I too have a nuclear button, but it's much bigger and more powerful one than his, and my button works. You know, the threats of declaring nuclear war on and killing each other also checks out with my friend group. It seems that the shit-talking was a necessary step in forging a bond together, because years after the fact, these two fellas actually chopped it up and hung out over what I imagine were a few brewskis and a game of pickup basketball, back in 2019 at least. Sorry, losers and haters, but my IQ is one of the highest, and you won't know it. Please don't feel so stupid or insecure. It's not your fault. Losers and haters, as well as idiots of the world, has definitely been long-standing favorites of Trump's vocabulary. It colored a lot of what he said through the 2010s. Every time I speak of the haters and losers, I do so with great love and affection. They cannot help the fact that they were born fucked up. That's a very him way of asking folk, Why are you like that? Trump oftentimes took any holiday, no matter the occasion, as an opportunity to shout out the losers and haters to remind them how dumb and stupid and cringe they are, especially compared to himself. Happy New Year to all, including to my many enemies and those who have fought me and lost so badly they just don't know what to do. Love. With love, this motherfucker said. If you have been around long enough, you probably know what the other holiday he used to make a comment like this was, and if you don't know, I promise you will not guess it correctly. I would like to extend my best wishes to all, even the haters and losers on this special date, September 11th. I gotta be honest, this is still a banger. And it's just one I don't think the Donald Trump of today could find in himself to come up with. Like, there were times when this dude cornballed his way into spitting some straight bars on accident. If you don't remember, back in 2019, A$AP Rocky, rapper, whose album better be fucking gas for how long he's kept us waiting for it, was arrested in Sweden after getting into a fight with someone. He was in prison for over a week, I believe, when Trump himself stepped in to help get him back home. I don't think Trump has ever listened to a single A$AP Rocky song, but he started spitting after the fact. A$AP Rocky released from prison, on his way home to the United States from Sweden. It was a rocky week. Get home ASAP, ASAP. Bro put the $sign in ASAP. He spelt it correctly. When he was saying the name, he used the capital R in Rocky, so we knew he was referencing the rap name. Big Dog was really trying his best with this one. He probably had a full writer's room there to do his best to score points with Rocky. And it was very funny that despite all this effort, Trump's camp was apparently very miffed when Rocky did not thank him for his involvement in the court case. According to a documentary about Rocky's time in prison in Sweden, it was Kanye and Kim Kardashian telling Trump about his situation that got him to act on it. And Rocky said he himself had no issues with thanking Trump, but that in reality, Trump was not the reason he got out, and that he might have actually even made it worse. Oh boy. Well, one thing Trump used to be really good at was flipping a pretty obvious typo or fuck up into something that could be seen as a W. He would do the type of thing that would doom a presidential campaign just 10 years earlier, like the Dean Scream, where this guy Howard Dean was a true contender for the presidency, only to completely sink his campaign by yelling a little weird.
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House! Yeah!
Something like that wouldn't even get you a second look these days. People get clipped out of context doing weird shit all the time now, and it's basically their entire campaign platform. Fucking Kamala with the "don't come" clip.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
It's generational, so this stunt from Trump was just a maneuver from someone who thrives in the internet age. Despite the constant negative press, Covfefe, it's hard to decipher what the original intention of this tweet even was. Like, let's just suppose it was spelled right. Despite the constant negative press, coffee? What the hell does that mean? It was tweeted at o'clock midnight, and it sounded like Trump needed a cup of coffee to keep his mind going. But then he wakes up the next day and spins that shit so well, call him Sonic the Hedgehog. Who can figure out the true meaning of Covfefe? Enjoy, framing it like he had just created a funny little Slenderman ARG for the astute viewer to decipher. By the way, which I don't think we ever did. Instead, now I have one of my VTuber friends, Fifi. Her name is literally based off that word, and I can't even directly link her channel here because it might get this video straight up nuked. Now, we've covered a few already, but let's just go down the gauntlet and cover some of Trump's more famous insults he's had for famous people on Twitter. He was a big fan of Robert Pattinson, just very invested in him, and he was ahead of the curve too. Like, this was well before the Pattinson wave of hype. He was really interested in Robert's love life, specifically giving personal advice on the matter. Robert Pattinson should not take back Kristen Stewart. She cheated on him like a dog and will do it again. Just watch. He can do so much better. Everyone knows I am right that Robert Pattinson should dump Kristen Stewart. In a couple years, he will thank me. Be smart, Robert. I guess Trump thinks they're on a first-name basis now. I don't know when the fuck that would have happened. Just the implication that Trump followed the Twilight Saga at its cultural peak closely enough to know it was happening between the two stars and their personal lives is entertainment enough here. But that is like only half the rant Trump had about Kristen Stewart. He was telling Robert Pattinson he could do so much better so often. He was so passionate about it, it almost came across like Trump thought he himself was the only one who could treat Robert right. I've always been a fan of Steve Jobs, especially after watching Apple stock collapse without him. But the yacht he built is truly ugly. You know, I'm not gonna pretend to be some kind of yacht expert. I will never have that type of money it takes to be one in my life. But yeah, as far as yachts go, this shit is pretty ugly. Any praise you have for Steve Jobs as a man cannot be in relation to his taste in boats. Amazing how the haters and losers keep tweeting the name Fuckface Fun Clown Stick like they are so original and like no one else is doing it. I don't think I will ever figure out what Trump's criteria for censoring curse words is. He will directly call someone fucked up because they were born that way, just with his whole chest out, stand on his word with it. But when it's a quote calling someone a fuckface, it's too much. He censored it like he's trying to get ads on a YouTube video that he's putting fuck in the title of. Ariana Huff is unattractive both inside and out. I fully understand why her former husband left her for a man. He made a good decision. Seeing these tweets screenshotted at a time where they got less likes than I get on my own tweets is truly something. Trump put a period in front of the name of the person he was tagging so that the whole Twitter feed would see it, only to get more retweets than likes at the time. This dude really just did it for the love of the game. At Miley Cyrus, don't worry about Liam. You can do so much better and you have plenty of time. Remain strong. This might be the most positive affirmation I've seen Donald Trump say. Don't give up. There's always more you can do, and there's plenty of fish in the sea who are not One Direction members. This next one is a post where it's not even like direct hating. It's just one of those things where it's hard to fathom that a guy like Trump exists. I'm sure you remember this. Great being with the national champion Clemson Tigers last night at the White House. Because of the shutdown, I served them massive amounts of fast food. I paid over 1,000 hamburgers, etc. Within 1 hour, it was all gone. Great guys and big eaters. Big eaters, you say? Well, they're certainly not throat goats, though. That title belongs to Trump alone. Speaking of titles, thanks. Many are saying I'm the best 140 character writer in the world. It's easy when it's fun. And you know what, Donald? Many have been saying this. Both those who support and deride you alike. They recognized a generational talent even if this was the only thing you were undisputably good at. But unfortunately, it seems like those times may be past us. We can only really appreciate what we had. Smile that it happened, not shed a tear now that it's over. You proved that Twitter shitposting wasn't just a young man's game. Anybody could do it. But age catches up to us all. Elon will never reach your heights, but you are now in his lows. You might never have gotten that Pulitzer short form writing award, but in many people's hearts, you deserved it. Honestly, I think I'm kinda over at this point. This video was my closure. I'm gonna wrap this video up here. That card I mentioned should be on screen. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop a like and subscribe with notifications on. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and it's my turn to claim the title of most unbearable